Ladies and gentlemen, as you probably already know, the political career of Mike Pence was destroyed the other day by Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson basically asked Pence, listen, in terms of foreign policy, we're spending tens of billions, well over $100 billion, funding a never-ending military conflict. Where is your concern? Essentially, this is what he said. Where is your concern with the problems we have at home? And then Pence said, that's not my concern. I think he was trying to say that it was not his concern. He was trying to say that Tucker Carlson's viewpoint, his opinion on foreign affairs and whether we can address the issues at home was not of Pence's concern. Okay? But I'll read you a couple of the quotes from Tucker Carlson, and then the quote from Pence. A country most people can't find on the map who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars don't have enough tanks. I think it's a fair question to ask, where's the concern for the United States in that? And then, without skipping a beat, Pence says, well, that's not my concern, Tucker. Pence replied, I've heard that routine from you before, but that's not my concern. Again, it sounds like he just is not concerned with the country when he tried to respond to Tucker Carlson. The issue with Pence is the following. In the Republican Party, you can either be with Trump against never-ending military conflict. We had record low poverty with Trump. We had record highs in household median income in 2019. Democratic governors tanked their states gleefully, unfortunately, because the experts told them to do so. They opened up very slowly. This was not a policy of Trump. You can't blame Trump for what happened in his last year in office, okay? It literally emanated in another country. And so then you blame Trump, but the reality is, even if when people were accusing Trump of not doing enough, let's say he would have done exactly what they wanted, or what they claimed to have wanted, they wouldn't have listened to him anyway. The thing with Democrats and media and Trump is anything he says, they immediately push back against, and then when they find out he's right, then they kind of sheepishly claim, well, you know what, we agreed with that, or he didn't do enough. So, I mean, the early days of his last year in office, it was Pelosi and others saying, oh, it's not that big of a deal, go out, have a good time. Then it was Trump didn't pay enough attention, he didn't take it seriously. And then people don't understand basic civics. He doesn't have the ability to tell a state what to do as president. So hit subscribe to this channel right now. Again, he doesn't have, if he's a president and a Democratic state wants to shut down their economy, he can't do that. I mean, he can't tell them, no, don't shut down your economy. Furthermore, we had Americans' Doha Agreement, Abraham Accords. Doha Agreement, he brought home Americans from Syria and Afghanistan. This is a fact. Okay? The militant, the hawks are the Democratic Party. Okay? You are pro-military intervention if you vote Democrat. You might think that you're a wonderful, morally superior, have a different hair color, you're on the far left, you're so moral, you're so wonderful, but you're voting alongside the Lincoln Project. And I'm not into the guilt by association nonsense, but you're voting with the Lincoln Project because the foreign policy of the Democratic Party is one of an interventionist foreign policy. It is Biden's foreign policy that led to the invasion in Europe. It fostered the invasion in Europe. When Tim Pool and the wonderful liberal pundit were debating, and then she told him, well, there was an invasion. Well, how do you think the invasion took place? Or why do you think the invasion took place? Just by accident? The United States under Biden had no political or foreign policy objective in fostering that eventual scenario. And then we just happened to stumble upon this invasion and then just give tens of billions of dollars. I mean, what were we to do? Of course, that's part of the reason the invasion in Europe didn't happen with Trump is because NATO, the two countries going at it for over a year now, knew very well it's not part of Trump's foreign policy. They wouldn't have that the United States of America under Trump would immediately try to prevent hostilities. And this is why you hopefully subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not doing many videos, but I'll be, of course, ramping up the videos in the next couple of months. Especially 2024 will be a very special year. We'll do a lot of great things. We'll have a lot of wonderful interviews, and we'll really expand the channel. There's a lot of wonderful things, thank God, happening for me, ladies and gentlemen. And I thank God. And so that's why I'm doing one video a day. I'm going to try to do 2 or 3, but at least you'll get one video a day. And I'm working on, setting up interviews for the next couple of months. Towards the end of the year, we'll really ramp up the content on this channel. So we have 200,000+ subs. I'm hoping by 2024 we'll get over 300,000. So hit subscribe to my Patreon. Thank you so very, very much to the members. If I don't, if I don't specifically thank you on the message board, thank you to each and every member of this channel. Your support is so greatly appreciated, and I'm so proud to have you as a member. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a great economy with Trump. Nobody can deny this. Pence has no rebuttal or answer, or he can't give credit to Trump. So he's caught between being Trump's vice president and the never Trump Republican that he always was. If you're a never Trump Republican, you're a Democrat on foreign policy, like Lindsey Graham. You just want tens of billions of dollars for a never-ending military conflict because a former Cold War adversary has to be defeated at all costs. Nobody knows what defeat means for them. Nobody knows what victory means for us. It's the Democratic Party is like the Republican Party in the early 2000s. Right now, they're the epicenter of immorality. Maybe the Republican Party in the early 2000s was. I think it was with Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. But you're talking about it is immoral to allow a never-ending military conflict without even once trying to settle a peace deal, trying to create some kind of peace or ceasefire negotiated settlement. Okay? Why hasn't Biden done this? The reason is because he doesn't want to. The Democrats are in charge of the Oval Office and foreign policy. That's why you vote for a president. You don't vote for a president because of his tweets or because of his personality or because of, because of your sensibilities. You vote for a president because of foreign policy and economic policy, both of which Trump excelled in. He brought home Americans. I want Americans home from never-ending military conflict. I don't want to be everywhere on the planet all at once, sending Americans abroad. And it's like, you can say, well, Trump did this, Trump did that. He's still less hawkish and militant than Biden or President Obama. Definitely than President Obama. Biden would be just as hawkish as President Obama or Bush, but we don't have the money to do so after 20-plus years of never-ending military conflict. So if you're on, the whole point of being on the left, and I was on the left my whole life up until like 5 years ago, and I was a liberal, Democrat, progressive, whatever you want to call it, the whole point is because you think it's moral. You think that you're morally superior because you're so highly educated. And that the Republicans are like, oh my God, they're so backwards. Well, Trump Republicans are the moral, it's the moral vantage point to have. It's a moral imperative to vote for Trump. We didn't have the never-ending military conflict in Europe. We have it now because of Biden's foreign policy. We didn't have inflation. We weren't at risk of a recession every year. Now we have poverty up. We had record low poverty with Trump. Poverty is up in the United States of America because of inflation. And the inflation numbers don't take into account oftentimes food, energy, rent, because these are seen as volatile. Well, they're all through the roof. And so if you want a better economy, you want people to suffer less in terms of their pocketbook, you want less crime, you want less homelessness, because we didn't have all of this with Trump. Because Trump's administration, his last year in office, media was an extension of the Democratic Party. It's been an extension for the past 6, 7, 8 years, okay? But media is an extension of the Democratic Party. Washington Post, New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, The Atlantic, New Yorker, New York Magazine, Rolling Stone, Vanity Fair, Esquire. Tell me how they're different from any Democratic Party operative or talking point or public relations executive. They're basically newsletters. And so Pence falls into that world. He doesn't fall into the Trump foreign policy and economic policy world, which is exactly why Tucker Carlson destroyed his political career. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so much.